From your LT invitation email, click the Get Started link. Select Create Account, set a password for your sign-in details, and accept the terms of service. Let's get started with LT. First, create a new course. Just click Create Course or use the Create Course button at the top of the sidebar and enter the details you want for your course. And then select Create Course. Before doing anything else, I'm heading to the course settings to make sure everything is set up the way I want. Here, I can edit the course name and code, assign the admin and student contact, customize the email invitation, and manage sections. I can also enable features like reports, example data, and if I plan to use sensors for live data acquisition, I can also toggle LT sampling. From this view, I can also copy the course for a future cohort, archive it when it's finished, or delete it if it's no longer needed. That all looks good, so now back to the lessons view. You can create your own custom lessons and modules, but the fastest way to add content is by selecting pre-made lessons and labs from the LT library. Use the search bar to find topics you want to teach. To see if the content is relevant, you can select the Preview button to view the lesson. I can move through the pages of the lesson, interact with questions, and select Exit Preview when I've seen enough. If I'd like to use the content, I can select Add Module. If you get stuck, you can always click on the Help icon. Here, you can get tips on the essentials, see what's new, and contact support. Everything you need to stay on track. Now it's time to customize this content. I can expand an imported module, and I see I have 3 lessons, including the pre-lab and the lab listed here. I want to customize the lab, so I'll select it to open the lesson. Now all I need to do is select this Edit button to have access to all of the editing tools I need to customize the lesson. You might decide that you want to add a learning objective, and you can just type that in. Next, you can take it a step further by adding some of our question panels to test your students' understanding. There are various panels to choose from, but I'll add a fill-in-the-blanks panel. You can simply paste in your text and set words as the answer by highlighting it and clicking the Set as Answer button. I want to add a grade for this question. We have multiple options to choose from, but I'll select Instant and Graded. I'll give 1 point with a single attempt and also enter in my feedback. With our sensors, students can record their own physiological signals, turning theoretical lessons into engaging hands-on experiences. If you don't have our sensors yet, our content still provides real physiological recordings as example data, supporting students in learning to recognize and interpret authentic signals. You can also decide to delete any pages or reorder the content if you want your students to do certain activities first. Once I've completed the edits to my lesson, I'll close it. Now I need to add students to the course. Go to the People tab. You can add students individually by clicking Add Student, or add multiple students at once by selecting Import to upload a class list via CSV file. I've pre-prepared a file with all of my students' emails and information, so I can just select that file, open it, and all of that information gets uploaded to LT. I can choose to invite my students to my course now, or do it later. In this case, I want to do it now, so I'll leave the Course Invite toggle selected and click Import. Students with a pending badge have not yet accepted their invitation or created an LT account. Once a student is marked as active, it means they've accepted the terms of service and successfully created their account. And now, since my students have been invited to my course, I can make content available to them. I want to add the edited Muscle and EMG lab to the schedule, so I'll navigate to the Lessons tab. I'd like it to be paired with the relevant pre-lab lessons and for my students to complete the pre-lab prep before they gain access to the lab. To do this, I'll have to edit the module details and set it as an ordered module to link the lessons together. You can access the module details through the Info icon, which will bring up the details card. Then click Edit Details and toggle on Ordered Module. Then Save Details. You'll notice a little lock icon next to the module to indicate that this is an ordered module. Now, all I need to do is select Add to Schedule. I can choose to add individual lessons or the entire module. Since I want to add the full module, I'll select Add to Schedule from the module title row. From here, I can either add the module to my schedule and set its availability later, or make the content available to students now, which is what I'll do. You'll notice a numbered badge on the schedule icon indicating there's been a change to your schedule. Here, you can modify the available from and due dates for both the modules and lessons via the calendar modal. You can make the lesson available or unavailable instantly by using these toggles. I can also double-check which lessons and modules are currently available to my students by selecting this Student View button. This will take you to the student's homepage, so you can see exactly what your students can see and even preview the lessons. When you're done, just click on Exit Student View to return to the schedule view. Once your course is underway, you can track student progress by navigating to the Progress tab. In the Lessons Progress view, you'll get a clear overview of how students are progressing through each lesson. At a glance, you can see how many students have completed the lesson, how many are still in progress, and how many haven't started yet. If you want to send a reminder, just click on a status group to copy their email addresses and send a quick message about the upcoming due date. You can also track the engagement of your lesson by clicking on the Lesson Analytics. This view gives you a breakdown of time on page, question attempts, selected answers, average view time on videos, and more. Once I'm done, I can go back to the Progress view. I can see the Grade button is active, which means students are ready to be graded. It's helpful to know this button has 3 states. Gray means grading is not ready yet. White means you can start grading, but the lesson is still open for others to complete. Blue means the lesson is fully committed. I'll go ahead and click Grade Now to enter the grading environment. By default, all students appear in this grading view. To focus only on those who have completed the lesson, I'll click Student Options and uncheck Uncommitted Students. This is also where you can anonymize names if you prefer unbiased grading. Now I want to focus specifically on the morning section right now, so I'll use this drop-down menu to filter for just that group. Now, looking at the list, I've noticed that some of my questions are missing. This usually happens if I forgot to assign a max grade. To find them, I'll toggle on Show Questions Without Max Grade. You can also toggle Show Auto-Graded Questions here to filter out what doesn't need manual review, though this lesson doesn't have any. Now that the missing questions are visible, I can simply click the header row to add the value. Or I can click the question itself to view the details and assign the max grade from there. I can now give the student a grade and enter my feedback. Once I've finished grading, I can return to the Progress view by clicking on the Home button. Next, you have access to the Student Grid view. This gives you a detailed, high-level overview of your entire class. In this view, you'll see your student roster listed alongside every scheduled lesson. This allows you to quickly track each student's total grade and current status. Keep an eye out for 3 key statuses: Not Started, In Progress, and Committed. To navigate the grid efficiently, you can sort by lesson progress, grade, or name, and even filter by specific class sections. You can also use the search bars to instantly locate a specific student or lesson. Finally, if you need to review a student's actual work, simply click on the lesson cell in their row. This opens a management panel where you can reset their progress, commit it to grading, or grant an extension if the assignment is past due. That's it. Remember, you can open the Essentials panel anytime if you're ever unsure what to do next. If you have any questions, such as setting up LMS integrations, or if you'd like an in-depth demo, please reach out to your local customer success manager. Thanks for watching, and happy teaching with LT.